Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Covington City Council special meeting for Tuesday, September 27th. In compliance with state law, City Council special and regular meetings are being held in a hybrid format with in-person, telephonic, and virtual options for public viewing and participation. With that, I'll call this study session to order. And Chris, if you'd like to call the roll, please.
Yes. Councilmember Soltis,
I am here.
Councilmember Porter,
Here.
Councilmember Hartsock,
Here.
Councilmember Harjahausen,
Present.
Councilmember Simomo.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Here.
Mayor Wagner.
I am here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thanks, Krista.
It's been on back order for a year.
It entertains us, honestly.
Yeah. Zoom usually picks it up okay, but not in the room.
So with that, we have one item for discussion tonight, and that's the strategic planning process. And I'll turn that over to Regan. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is exciting to be back doing our strategic plan. If you recall, last time we met, we reviewed the objectives. And we, council solidified most of those, but there's still one that we need to finalize hopefully tonight. That's the first objective. So we'll start with that. And then we'll get into action items. These are the real measurable things that we'll start doing to show progress on this. And do we have the PowerPoint we can pop up there? And we'll jump into it. The goal here today is not necessarily to finalize all of our action items, but to get a pretty clear direction on the type of action items council is looking at. And then we'll go back as staff and rework those and possibly add some additional ones and then bring it back to you for adoption at that point. And then we can start putting the whole plan together and finalizing it all. So no problem. Once we get that, Selena doesn't like Zoom, so. So let's go ahead and go to the second slide. No problem. Right, that second slide is just showing the progress where we're at. We're on the action items at this point. The thing we want to remember when we're putting these together is that these are measurable. There's something that we can look at and say, okay, we did that, check, right? So that's the kind of thing we're looking at in the action item. Let's go to strategic priority number 1. Okay, so what was presented to council is under our priority 1 is a robust and resilient economy. That's one of the goals council set. The objective statement that was submitted was promote Covington's business-friendly environment and grow an economically diverse, resilient, and sustainable community. And so council wanted to sit on this one for a little bit and asked us to bring this back for discussion. And so let's see, is that second one a little different? Right. The non-highlighted one. So promote Covington's business-friendly environment and grow a diverse, resilient, and sustainable economic community.
Then I'll just add the asterisk I think was trying to address Councilmember Hartshausen's comment about.
I know. I'm like, you guys are probably like, seriously, we brought this back up. They remembered. Isn't that super nice, guys?
So any council thoughts on this objective statement? Priority 1?
Have we asked their businesses what they feel business friendly looks like?
Not in correlation directly to, hey, we're putting together a strategic plan. What does that look like to you? But absolutely, over the years, we've had those conversations, and the type of feedback we get is less restrictions, less red tape, and an easier permitting process, and keep taxes low. I'd say are the 4 things that we'll consistently hear.
I like the second one. Oh, go ahead. In my opinion, I think you've captured it. And I think it's very well said and states what we're looking to do.
And your footnote or your comment about resiliency. Resiliency from business to home.
Yeah, so when I look at these, I try to look at it from a resident's perspective so that it's from our lens as residents, not down upon them. And so when I look, I don't see myself as a resident in here. And so I somehow wanted, that's why I'm saying I don't have a solution to it, but this one to me just doesn't hit home because when I think of a robust and resilient economy, I think that applies from household to business to city, not just business city.
So I think the question is, what can we do then as a city to affect the household that would then affect the economy as opposed to?
Right, promote businesses
Right.
that give people enough money to live here,
Mhm.
to make sure that we have affordable housing.
Mhm.
So there are action items
Yeah.
associated with something like that. And I don't see it elsewhere in the other spaces. I see, access to social resources. To me, that's not the same as promoting
Right.
good paying employers, and that's not the same as, there,
Mhm.
I feel
You
like we're
see-
leaving something on the table in this
Right.
mix.
Do you see if one of those objective statements were approved by council, that the action items that go towards what you're saying could fit?
I didn't see those in the other spaces.
The other objectives?
But
But could it?
but we do that, so we've got the strategic priority, then we're coming up with the objective statement, and then under that, we come up with action items that could fill what you're.
But the
referring to.
action items are only there because Jennifer's thinking of it, not because it's a priority or a statement. That's
No,
my
the action
concern.
item comes underneath the objective statement.
Right. But the action items are based on the strategic priority and the objective statement. But those action items are ones I just gave examples that don't fill any of that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know if this will help, but I wonder if changing the word "and" to "to." So promote Covington's business-friendly environment to grow an economically diverse, resilient, and sustainable community. Because I think that community is that commonality, right? That's the root of community is common. And we've been using community as that embracing word. And so I think kind of speaking a little bit to Regan is saying of like, it's an element or a leg in our stool, right? As our business community.
Right.
And how did they influence the resiliency and diversity and sustainability? They play a role in that, right? Now, I don't know that that gets to the back piece of that you're also talking to, like how do you go from home to business? But I think that's kind of go from business. to
Right. I
home.
just don't think a city can tout a robust and resilient economy if half, let's just say half of its residents are starving. I don't think that
Mhm.
is an example of a robust and resilient economy.
Let me look at it a little different way. Maybe it is, maybe that city does have a robust economy and there's a lot of money, but they're not aiming that money towards the kind of services that we're talking about.
I don't even consider those services though. I don't consider that
Gotcha.
a social resource.
Okay. So your ideal, what you're looking at is Covington needs an economy that gives every job is a living wage job.
That promotes them, encourages that. That's right.
I feel like what someone said about changing that
Yeah, I
word
do too.
to two, because I feel like, but I guess I'm trying to. Well, can we just write for all?
I love the for all. I do. I'm not denying it.
Is it the we that's missing?
I love the for all. If you would have put that on the end of all of them, I probably would have thought a word.
Yeah, it's up to you. So whatever council wants.
Would that relate to people and having?
I absolutely think it does.
And right, I mean, and so it encompasses.
It's, I mean, and separating a gap between a city's economic welfare and its residents, to me, is harmful. And it's exactly the opposite of what you should be doing. So it's important.
would you agree then in that statement, just kind of another way to think about it, would you agree that then like if you're here doing business, you should also then feel like you're part of the community,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so, and if you feel like part of the community, then those values of that community, you should want to participate in that or,
Yeah.
or otherwise,
Yeah.
strategy
Yeah.
values, whatever
Yeah,
that word. you
totally.
use. Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking for something loose, like this, because the moment you think of roots, that means people don't have plans to take care of themselves and are in. Covington, right?
Like, I'm like embrace Covington's
Is
business
it
friendly environment?
Covington's business friendly environment? Is that the phrase that's knocking me off a little bit there, Jennifer?
Maybe because it's making me feel like it's all.
It's
business.
friendly to business and it's not about the resident, right?
But I get why it's there.
Well, because without our businesses, we wouldn't have a
Correct,
city.
correct.
right?
So I heard- go ahead.
Could it just, I mean, could you even say just economic environment? It's maybe we just, I'm just trying to think of like, if we remove that word, does that and replace it with something else, does that sit differently? Like promote Covington's economic environment to grow a diverse, resilient, sustainable community.
I like the business friendly because we're trying to get businesses in here to help our.
But then
economy
that's
grow.
more of an action item to promote an economic environment, to be business friendly.
Well, business friendly is an objective, right? The action item would be recruit living wage jobs, recruit, this.
Living
X, Y,
wage
Z
jobs isn't
business.
necessarily business friendly.
Right, that's the problem.
It is.
There's definitely an appetite.
Just
We
add
want people to, we want businesses to be attractive to Covington. But I
And
think
when it
there might
comes-
be other reasons besides what we normally think of as business friendly, as in less regulations, but I mean, because that's part of it, right? 'Cause you
Yeah.
want- we've got a lot
Easy
of fun.
permitting process, yeah.
Right, but it can also be, we're engaging with our businesses and supporting them with community events, I think, and I'm just doing it right now, but, but
Yeah.
it's not just about being business friendly in the bottom line way, but it's also about creating a community where people want to shop here and give their businesses too. Right?
So that's where changing the word and the two makes the purpose for promoting the business friendly environment, and the purpose is to grow
I think that's a
Grow
really good
and
change.
a
Yeah.
diverse, resilient, sustainable economic community.
I would
Or
take out the
economic-
economic, I would just leave in sustainable community, because if you have economic in there, then it removes the personal.
Well, and that's a good point, because that's really what the business environment should do, is support a sustainable community, right? Will promote Covington's business-friendly environment to grow a diverse, resilient, and sustainable community.
Actually flows very well.
I'm happy with it.
Is there-
Oh, good.
Is there
Okay.
Are you-
consensus?
And,
Do we have consensus?
Yes.
to-
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Good.
Like
Thank
that?
you so much for bringing it up. I appreciate it.
Well, no, I think it's a good
No,
conversation
it's
because
good.
there's a lot of words I'll use that can
That
go
looks
now
good.
into your action items. Okay,
Well,
So
now
that-
we'll start on our action items then, for priority number one.
I feel like now I gotta update this.
Yeah,
slide
yeah, do
real
that.
quick. Let's
Good idea.
make this official.
So if you come prepared with some, we'd love to hear those. We can start with those, or we can start reviewing
I know this is.
some of the ones that staff threw together as well.
I'll just say I didn't come prepared with any for priority number one, because I didn't know how we might
Where we
reword it,
land
so I
on that.
kind of held on that.
Okay. No problem.
I have determine which factors will be used to determine the diversity. then determine how to drive business development in the areas that are lacking.
So establish factors determining diversity.
Diversity, what are the diverse things we're looking for?
Also, please don't judge the rules apply.
And, yeah, and because this is under a robust, resilient economy, do we want to qualify what kind of diversity we're talking about? Are we talking about business diversity or what? you know,
Right, I
yeah.
think, I mean, that's, to me, it kind of leaves that open-ended. What diversity are we talking to? Are we talking about? What, are we looking at a diverse set of businesses? And if so, in what way? Diverse in what way? Are we looking at a way to give people diverse options as residents? Well, what is that? You know, so.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
How would you know you established those factors? Are you thinking like just really strong measurable factors?
If we're going to want to grow a diverse economy, I think we should definitely know what those are, right? Otherwise, we're all just gonna end up. with the same thing. I'm not saying it's easy.
No, no, yeah.
And I'm thinking
Yeah.
of the goal, I'm thinking of the,
Well, and
smart.
when you think of a diverse economy, right, you're thinking of different types of goods and services. that are
different types of
provided, and
revenues.
different types of revenues,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's generally, but I feel like you're going at something different maybe.
I would like to see some different types of businesses. Yeah, definitely.
So definitely with a business slant to the diversity that we're trying to measure.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Okay.
But
That's all.
I don't think that I have no concern with adding it in other ways as well. I mean, I think having all of our tax revenue come from one specific place or it's not smart, right?
I have a clarifying question then. So when you say factors, do you mean criteria? Is that what you're saying? What's the word factor mean?
When we say we're diverse, what does that mean?
Right, yeah. But I'm
We have
saying,
small business, big
Okay,
business,
so-
do we have minority owned businesses?
Yeah.
Do we have shopping? Do we have, do we have restaurant, healthcare? Like, are we missing anything? And if so, what is it?
so it helps me.
So maybe
I think of that word as establish the criteria for the thing.
Yeah.
What is,
Okay.
when we.
Yeah.
So maybe it's
So you said
totally
minority owned
fine.
businesses, how many percentages do we have women owned? You know, how many percentage of restaurant versus, specialty art shop, so.
So maybe a good action, or maybe the word it a little differently is, the action item is conduct a gap analysis to determine the diverse businesses that we're missing. or something like that. It's this
Right, but again,
category.
like, what do you consider diverse? I don't know, maybe
Well,
you
there-
guys have.
there-
Well, diverse is different. That's what it
Yeah.
means, right? And so we're looking for different businesses and services that provide diverse revenue options. As I understand.
Compare us to what other cities of comparable size that they look like, or others that we want to look like.
Okay, we can play with that. We've got enough there. Any other thoughts, Joe?
So this might actually even flow into Jennifer's there, but we need to be creating some form of ads to advertise for these new businesses that we're trying to get. Promote the Lake Point development, promote the downtown as we're starting to develop it up and get people interested in coming. It might be something that the builders are doing, but it should be something that, hey, the city wants these types of entities to come in, so we have to be active in it. So
So
creating
maybe
ads,
partner with our larger developers and promoting their development.
promoting, creating ads to promote these developments, something to that extent.
You also need incentivize it, but actually like, I have a question mark for the incentive packages for specific businesses, right? Meaning, like what, not your big corporate, you know.
If we're gonna incentivize,
Unless it's targeted.
if we're gonna incentivize businesses, I want to incentivize those businesses that are gonna come in here and create jobs for the community. Because I want us to not just be, a bedroom community who has to travel to their jobs. I'd really like us to, as much as I would love more shops and everything, we should be bringing in those businesses that are going to build something too.
Normally the types of businesses that Covington's flush with, retail and restaurants, are not businesses that get incentive.
Yeah.
It's really job producers, the living wage jobs,
Yeah.
manufacturers. Those are incentive packages.
Yeah.
So,
let's say then maybe you do a gap analysis and there is, identify one or two business sectors that fit that diverse criteria that we're looking for that would help grow this community. So look for, and then promote Covington to that, to those business sectors.
And speaking of diverse, kind of our light industrial, we've got some space for it, but we just don't have it. That would be a nice thing to be able to add to what we provide.
I also think that, amongst, like, we're talking about ads, which is great, and then kind of talking to the developers, but if we can figure out, like, every single one of us should be a headhunter into this city, encouraging them to take interest and knowing who they can talk to, if it's, the brothers or whoever it would be at Lake Point. I mean, we're out and about, you know that residents want certain things here, so I encourage them to on top, whatnot, shop and tell them to try to show interest in bring them here, or whatever that looks like. So I don't know how to really, maybe put like, I don't know, but getting every single member or staff out program that we can use encounter.
What would
As
be
ambassadors of
helpful?
the city.
Yeah, like, kind of like the model that Chamber of Commerce uses with their.
Yeah. I'm kind of just like thinking about kind of the tactical, right? 'Cause we're getting into that tactical, like what does staff actually want to do, right? And so when you say that, it's great. Do you envision like really good economic development pages? Do you, handouts that, like, what are the kind of those tactical things that would help?
I think giving us resources so that if we're out and about, and we can be very specific about what a business that might be showing interest in can do. Or, the business.
So information like there's this space available or.
Yeah.
Encourage maybe, I will show you the finance now, but like, I'm not gonna have that, but there will be space that I can say, hey, look, go here, this is what's available.
Yeah.
Here are the opportunities. I don't know if that's maybe like a new app in things.
Gonna give you all like QR code. You're all gonna
I know,
have QR
yeah.
code.
I'll put on the back row, on the back. That's
I've
really
talked
kind
about
of
that actually.
With a
where
few
that should
talking
be.
points and available space.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the nice things that Covington has, we don't have an economic development department here in Covington. Selena and I have it. But we do have these kind of master developers, like Joe talked about promoting, who spend millions and millions of dollars promoting to where we don't really have to do that. And so, and even doing it, we wouldn't be able to do it like they're doing. But having a central resource that's available, so if in fact you're actually out and you're like, hey, I actually want to come to Covington and move my business over. Well, here, check out this website or contact me, right? We can make it that simple.
And it could even be available to them.
For sure.
Why doesn't the city do it? The city can't, can't pick and choose who's here. Somebody applies.
Yeah, here
Yeah.
you go. Why don't you walk into Target and give them this information and do your best. Good luck.
One of them is that. Oh, that would be great in Covington. I don't know. What to do. Yeah, exactly. I don't have to.
I was thinking at the time, thinking Joe, the idea about a marketing campaign that talks not only about the economy, but also, the other assets we have in here. Access to highway 18 and medical, but the parks, that's so kind of a considered Covington kind of package. So a page that would basically you just click on it, good schools, exactly. And so it's not just about promoting those two new developments, town center or Lake Point, but those are important, but then you can pull those out and put other things.
Showcases the community.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and say, did you know we have, our sales taxes, blah, 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 compared to others. Crime rates such and such, and from the Covington. It's funny, after you went, I went to the Funko store, was walking around and I'm like, you guys should open a store in Covington. And they're like, I think they're thinking of Tacoma or whatever, but I'm like.
Oh, Funko
Well,
in Covington.
Yeah.
It would put
people
us
here-
on the map.
Oh,
I don't even know.
oh, you don't know the little bobblehead guys?
I have one in my car. Look at
Yeah.
my dash.
Anyway, I don't know if that door is closed, but those, I was just thinking, those kind of businesses that bring people in just to come see the dolls and then they go eat, and so.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so that's kind of a diverse business.
People take a trip. just
Yeah, I
to
did.
go. Yeah.
After I saw yours.
I need one of those.
One of the unique situations that Covington's in, so in my last city, we had a lot of area to expand and grow, and it was really easy to add land into the city, and we could develop, and so we could really go market the shovel-ready property. And so to go to a Funko or something, say, we want you in Covington, but we don't have any space for it. Right, it's really hard, and so we're really, like I was saying, reliant on these property owners and developers to work with us when they have a tenant leave, which we don't have many spaces available until Lake Point gets built, to really kind of do that. So as I see this conversation developing, it's really around making sure we've got partnerships in place with our developers, especially like the Toll Brothers,
Open.
to say, we've done this gap analysis, these are the type of places we need here and what our community wants. Can we go get them together? Right? Kind of thing.
Okay.
So, Sean, I don't know how you saw my stuff I wrote down over here, but that was kind of, no, not Funko, not Funko, although Regan, you should have a picture of what Funkos look like now. on your phone. But we had Destination Covington a number of years ago, and that's what Sean was describing is basically Destination Covington 2.0. And that's what I have written down for our next thing, is something similar to that. And that should be an action item we have is creating, Destination Covington 2.0, where it's going to attract those businesses, but it's going to attract new residents also because they can see what we have. And we have new homes coming in Lake Point. We're going to have new apartments coming in over by the town center. It's attracting people in all sectors. And that's really what I'm thinking is that would be a great thing for us to do is we're creating these ads for businesses, but we're also going to create them, as Sean was talking about, for these are the perks of living here. Our sales tax is X. We have these parks, we have these trails, we have the pool, we have a new community center eventually coming in. That's going to bring in business and residents. And I think that's where we really can do something like that.
Yeah, no, I don't want to rush this because this is really important, but so I think we take the time we need and we'll set up additional meetings,
Yeah.
right? Is my thought on this, if everybody's okay with that.
And some of these will dovetail with,
Yeah.
the socially vibrant
Yeah.
destination,
Yeah,
because some of the
great.
ideas we've talked about, I had on here too. In one of the interviews we did for CETUS, which was Justin Van Lanschot, he had a great idea, and that was as a property owner, he wanted to develop a packet that he can give to somebody that comes and looks at one of his retail spaces, a kind of a take me home packet that gives all the stats, demographics, data, all about Covington. And so I think that they may even be working on that, but it's very similar to
Yeah.
promoting all the great reasons you want to have your business.
To the next,
Actually, or are we?
to the next objective or? Yeah, yeah. what do you mean?
But I really did like, the last one here, to be proactive with outreach to businesses regarding city events. And the key here is with opportunities for sponsorship and with participation. Any business wants to get their name out. What better way to do it than at an event where you actually participate? You're gonna pay for marketing somewhere. You might as well, participate, sponsor something. I really like that idea. That doesn't mean that we don't have to have more events, but it's a kind of place.
Yeah.
But I really like the sponsorship.
You know, when we started Ready Set Play, 6 or 7 years ago, we really play unplugged. That was one of the reasons why is to help promote businesses and being involved in the city and get kids active in the summer, right? And so I see something like that in a way, because it's such a great program, but we consistently get between 25 and 30 businesses. There's got to be a way to grow and expand that, or maybe there's something different as well, but to kind of add along with what you're saying.
Love it. Yeah. Any thoughts?
Else, that?
I think Beth asked and you said we do actively gauge our business friendliness, because I put that on here. Actively request feedback to gauge our business friendliness. How do we do that?
I don't know for sure what you're asking.
As an
Oh,
action, so
when you
I
asked-
have
yeah,
down
I
here as an
see.
action item, something that Beth just asked a
Yeah.
few minutes ago, and so I was
Yeah.
curious, how do we actively request feedback? And because I'm wondering, do we need to put on the list?
So it's been done through, we've done a couple of, CEDAS has conducted a couple of surveys over the last 4 or 5 years. And then I'm in contact with the businesses pretty regularly. And it's kind of a more informal other than those surveys. So,
Maybe we could put, a formal routine,
Yeah.
whether it's once a year or every two, but a concerted effort that it's on the schedule.
Mhm.
And it can change each
Yeah,
time, but
that's good,
something
yeah.
to make it more formal then.
Mhm.
Would you go as far to, because it's one thing to survey folks,
Mm-hmm.
it's another thing to take that and do something, right? And so, kind of standard effort to survey the business community. And then is there like a report out or implementation? Is it just,
Yes.
I guess I'm
Yes.
asking,
Yes.
okay, I
No,
want
it
to
is.
just be
Yeah,
very
at the
clear on
staff
that,
level,
yeah.
Report out and action. Funny, we had a survey at work and that was my comment at the end. Please relay action items from the last time you surveyed us.
I lived in that mode for a long time and you'd be surprised at how many questions you ask that just are like, thanks.
Yeah, because I was thinking like some of this sounds similar. I haven't seen any change, so.
Anyone else have anything for this priority?
In kind of a general theme of promote and kind of centralize all of our economic development information. And so that we can do. We've got several other things as staff that we'd like to include. So unless there's something else that council wants to include on here, we'll go with what we've got there, add some more before we bring it back. Good. Can we move on? Good. Okay. Priority 2, elevate Covington as a destination community to live, work, shop, and recreate through engaged neighborhoods, enhanced natural spaces, and vibrant events for all. Joe?
So tying into the last one, Destination Covington 2.0. Because it does, it brings in the businesses and it's gonna bring in residents, it's gonna bring in people, as we had in a question in our last interview for CEDAS, look at the city as tourists. Why do we choose to come here? Why do we choose to live here? And this will help us figure that out, how we can bring people in on all of those steps. As a business owner, as an employee, as someone visiting to go to those shops, or somebody buying their first home or their retirement home here in Covington. What are the reasons that people are coming here? And I think that would be a big help for us to promote Covington and to find the why, but also to get them to the why is why we stay.
So what I'm thinking is I'm thinking about an event like that. We can share all the demographic data, economic data. What do we share that we have for them? Like they say, okay, well, I like Covington.
Well, that could be, even some of this data that we can have in flyers that we hand out that can be sitting at LA Fitness, at Bar A3, or at Starbucks, that be people who are coming into the city who don't live here, or are thinking of, they're coming through and they're opening a business like with what Debbie said about, Justin wanting the, packet to hand to potential renters of his retail space. If we have these things that people can just have, we give them to the businesses that they can put out and people can pay.
So this is an event where it's open to everybody and come and hear about Covington.
At an event, people can come in here, but also, sheets of paper that we leave at the front desks of businesses for people to help promote, that they could work with, CEDIS can work with the chamber to have businesses or promoting the city to their customers. For those people who want to stay in Covington and either as a resident or as a customer.
That's the thing, it's whether it's an event or not, I think the idea of having this document or flow chart or graphic that shows the why that we can give out and.
Yeah, we did something similar for that regional contracting. Yeah.
So I think it's getting right for a couple of these events or things to attract people here to make it a destination. We kind of talked about these in the past. One was a city-sponsored speaker series, bringing in forward thinkers or on any subject, and maybe we could change the theme each year, but Spokane sponsors a TEDx talk every year. I don't know why Covington couldn't do something similar. So it starts getting people thinking about Covington in different ways, that there are other types of things to do here, but it maybe introduces us to different, different residents that then see themselves here and want to stay. So speaker series. The other thing I'm thinking, mentioned also, I think there's a need for an art festival in this area, something that's dedicated specifically to art. Like I said, when I was in Wyoming, all these little towns, did Western art festivals and just attracted gazillions of people, and so, maybe it's because we've been there a long time, but I think there's some niche there where we could just have a specific art festival, not where art's kind of a secondary thing, but it actually is the main thing. And then the last one, and I know this is a ways down the road, but I think Covington should have a Covington Open pickleball tournament, and become, like maybe 3-on-3 or whatever.
He's moved on from a basketball.
Yeah, I have
to
moved on from
pickleball.
basketball. It's oversaturated, so I'm thinking we're at the wave of pickleball. I think it's time for us to think about that, and that we could be on the front end of it to say, yeah, we go every year to the Covington pickleball tournament.
Let me ask if I can real quick, Beth, about the arts, art festival, which is an awesome idea. What I'm hearing, my Parks and Rec staff saying is, well, what art will we be showcasing at this event? And so are you envisioning that we're recruiting artists to come and they come here and show their work and?
Well, basically, everything I just said is what I thought, but what I could see is that, maybe it takes us a little while to figure out what the niche is, and you have different themes, from the start, both, graphic art, but also, you have performance art too.
No, but I think what my question is,
with some of these, I've been mostly a Western, it just seems to work. People that drink beer and whatever, and it just seems to attract that kind of interesting crowd. But I could see other types of art, maybe have wine or cheese with it. So I don't know. Or chocolate, yeah.
There'll be art festival, close to the street now, and have all the artists that have been wanting to sell.
Yeah,
Right.
so, and then, some type of central, I don't know if we bring in someone to talk about their art, or, there's speakers that, talk about the influence of these artists, if it's Western like Charlie Russell or whatever, so I don't know, that's about all I thought about, but I think there's an opportunity there to kind of get that diverse community that we want, and it's a destination. Oh yeah, it's that time of year, we're going to the Covington Art Fest, right?
If I may, I'm kind of connecting a dot, even thinking about like a sponsored speaker series. And then maybe there's a museum
Yeah.
aspect to that,
Right.
like you get the, and then
Free
you can kind
pass.
of build, you have someone come in and promote like what Mohai does, or, and like maybe there's some history here, and then. that
Native
can grow.
American art you could bring in.
Yeah, that's it.
So, anyway.
I feel like there's like a
Yeah.
connection there to,
Yeah.
to get it
There is.
kicked off,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, two things, maybe tying something like that into Maker's Market
Mhm.
might happen sooner than you think, if we
Yeah.
have that element to it. But Joe, I wanted to ask you the third question, you were talking about the event or graphic to provide, are you talking about like somebody driving through, stopping at Starbucks for a coffee that might be on their way up to the common pass, for example, and while they're there, they see something that they go, oh, Covington has one of these, is that kind of what you're
That's kind
talking
of my
about? Okay.
idea, yeah, something similar to that, someone who's either driving through to get something, or even, that person who lives in Kent down in the valley and comes up here once every 6 months, because, we have something that Kent Station doesn't.
Debbie?
I don't know what destination Covington was. Was it a flyer or what medium was that?
That's a big in-person event where we showcase the city,
Got it.
but it actually
Okay.
started as Target Covington back in 2002.
It was an economic development.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was thinking of is producing a video that we could get out to, it can go out through social media and get out to everyone. And, the video that you guys did, it was more like the state of the city, yes. Kind of like that, but with maybe talking to residents too about why they like to live here and showcasing our parks and our recreation programs and some of our neighborhoods, shots of neighborhoods, and that could be shared with real estate companies, with other local cities. I just think we could really get it out there, maybe in a bigger, better way than, I'm not saying not have an event, but an event is, you get so many people here.
Yeah.
And a flyer, you only put so much information,
Yeah.
but a really lively video about all of the great things that come into it.
A bunch of little short videos.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And it's something we've talked about incorporating more into our promotions is video. So, yeah.
I also think you're speaking to, I'm just kind of thinking at a staff level, things that we go to or we're on panels or we're, like I just went to the regional contracting. We thought it was going to be kind of a bust for Covington to be there. And it was surprisingly a lot of great feedback. Folks were so excited to see a city there. Like, thank you for coming. We had a lot of people come and say like, oh, I work in Kent, but I've been looking for a housing. Right, like Kelly and I fielded a lot of personal of those, like you said, you're kind of an ambassador when you're out there. So it's even maybe for staff being deliberate in some of these regional things that we participated in, like kind of coming in there with our.
Yep.
Oh, it's Carmen. Yeah, yeah.
Joe?
So this just kind of came to me. We all have a city social media account. Except for maybe Debbie. I don't know if she's got one yet. But we all have one, and we all have interesting facts about this city that maybe not everyone knows. And a way to promote the city to our residents, to show their friends who don't live here, or to promote those people who think we're Covington, Kentucky, and have like our, I say that because for
I
some
met their
reason-
city manager.
I for some odd reason, I've gotten email about Covington, Louisiana, Kentucky, but maybe we all have like a day of the week where we post that, did you know something about Covington? So we can get some interesting facts about the city. Did you know Covington has X, Y, Z? Or did you know Covington has the, most rare species of whatever? In the city?
We are the Covington.
Yeah.
the-
So, exactly. So
We should
maybe-
brand that.
The
Yeah. So I just wrote it down.
The
as the-
I think Ohio State has
Yeah.
already trademarked
You
the.
got the-
We'll be the
Stand
OC.
branding.
Yeah, so it might just be something that we do, and that could be something we start soon, and that's promoting
Yeah.
to current residents, future residents, businesses, And maybe even changing the mind of the people who don't like us to now they do like us.
Are there people that?
No.
It might be just him.
I'm
Probably just me,
I'm
because sometimes
confused.
I'm.
That's your vibe, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't
It's okay, I want you all to help.
Jennifer?
So I know a lot of this has been about promoting, but I was more, about things to actually want, to get people to want to be here. So I made a comment that I don't, and you guys may disagree, that events do not need to be annual. I think we can mix it up a bit. Just as a whole organization, city, it's every nonprofit I've ever been a part of. Once you start something, you do it every year. And I just don't understand that. So I think we could get a lot more variety and spice, though it's not dependable, it's not traditional,
Pop-up
but there may be
events.
something fun in that and be able to try all of these different things. Also, I'd like to see increased maintenance at parks and the grounds of aquatic centers so that when people do come visit our amazing natural spaces, that they are so impressed that they keep coming back again and again. And then this one, we may already have this, but I'm not totally sure if there is a master distribution network of information that includes schools, HOAs, clubs, churches, employers. So anytime there's an event, whatever department is putting on the event, they check the boxes of where it goes. Do we have that?
We have.
If not, I totally recommend
Semblances
it.
of that.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So what we just recently did, last month is we all walked around to every business in town and asked them, we created a QR code, but we also had the hard copy sign up sheet to sign up on an email distribution list, because there's all these times where I really wish we could email this out to the businesses, and we got a decent amount on that, right, Krista? And they're still coming in, so that's one, because we can't use the information from the business license, so.
Okay.
So we've created that. We do have a list of the HOAs.
Yeah, churches, schools,
Yeah, faith-
employers. I'm
faith-based,
thinking
I know we
employers,
kinda-
not necessarily.
What is the online media?
The City Scoop?
City Scoop, yeah.
That gets pushed out through social, and then anyone who's signed up for our email
Video.
distribution list.
Yeah, for that one, I was just thinking. It's so hard for me to know that people don't know what's going on. It drives me crazy, and it's like a problem we have to solve, and so.
I think the
not this would
faith-based community, getting a list of them that we could shoot up from the community information. out to
Because
would be a good
most,
start.
if not all, have newsletters that they
Right.
put out. I mean, and they're
They
always
plug
looking for
that
content.
events in there.
I mean, I know our churches and stuff, but I've never seen a city event there, and they're within city limits.
Can we
So-
put some on
and it's
the
a huge
agenda?
challenge.
I would
A
include,
centralized.
just, you know, how we used to have the 3 mile radius outside of the city. I would include that because we know people from there and that radius are coming into the city.
And they bring
Include it,
Covington
include it.
on.
for
Yeah, a
what?
lot of them do. Yeah, like Meridian Elementary, there's a lot of people at Meridian Elementary who think they are coming, but they're
Gotcha.
can't.
Yeah. So some of the schools and organizations. that-
Yes, yeah, schools, churches, or
Yeah.
like fire station right there at the end of 56, right by Meridian Elementary.
And there are churches that are on, kind of on the boundary of Maple Valley, kind of like
Mhm.
Cornerstone and,
Mhm.
We'd want to get into as well.
Yeah, and I'll just mention that as part of the comprehensive plan update, there's a huge requirement for public engagement. So CD is actually kind of building a stakeholders list right now, which then we'll be working with our internal teams to like, do you have, to your point, do you have any information on these churches, and then what will it take to get? So I think that's good. I think centralizing that, because I mean, I don't know how there's a lot of avenues. we need to
Right,
think
and
about.
just the number
Well,
of
and
schools
we-
alone.
We've found they're pretty hard to maintain as well, because it's just constant. There's a lot of turnover in, especially like HOA lists and whatnot, but yeah. Better.
I really want to see.
Sure. That's phase 3.
SCCP,
Phase 3.
I know, but is it on its way and soon?
If you got.
So let me
$20
ask you,
million.
how does that fit into this for you? To this objective?
Do you know how many teams Wilson's with Wilson Field? And different schools and different. just team project.
Yeah.
What it's used for. If CCP became a center, there's literally no other. Besides, like, you're gonna go into make a vow.
Ravensdale, yeah.
I know, I talked to
Ravensdale.
Ethan about this because Washington Youth Soccer actually will front most, if not all the money for turf, and then you pay it back with team fees. He didn't seem very interested, but it's something
Well,
that how
one
Petra
of the
was
things we
paid for.
talked about is we wouldn't be able to use it then, because
Oh, 'cause it's
we use it during the usable months constantly.
That's the point. You can use it, you can use turf anytime unless it snows really bad. But the turf is so much more reliable than muddy,
Yeah.
grass. And you know how many teams we have within our city and how, our youth rec and all of that. But it's such a thorn in the side that,
Yeah, it's just,
well,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
everything
I-
else.
well, turf at the fields there, not at the original. Right. Again,
Yeah,
it's gonna
have
come
we
down to
talked
what.
to- 'Cause that's how Pedro and Ravensdale. That, some of that money comes from Washington Youth Soccer.
But you can always negotiate a contract where it's like, these are you get it in the city, if WSU does. WY, anyway.
So is the action item here, turf?
Explore. Yeah.
How to get turf.
Well, we've explored it. We know how much it costs. We know all the work that's gonna go into it. That's all been done. The question is, do we have the extra millions of dollars?
Is it literally no?
Oh, yeah,
I had a meeting with the superintendent, and that's what their goal is for all of middle school and high schools, to replace it with turf. All the fields.
Well, then, let's get him into the school
It-
district
it-
and then
it
we can
was-
use those.
it was part of the original plans out there.
Then
but
can we
just couldn't afford them.
Kentwood doesn't have it.
Kentwood has Kentwood has,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, it doesn't, I'm so sorry, but it's in the, well,
it's on the football field.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
football
don't.
and soccer.
Let's
and track.
get back to the,
Yeah.
so, okay, but that, I thought that would be something, we can't just target the.
So what you're
middle-
saying
middle-aged
is-
plus,
Is recruit additional athletic events there once we have a turf field. Is that your action item?
No, it would be really true, but I guess that's not.
I would say bring that up during budget.
So then, I know, right? So then maybe we can continue to explore how we can integrate using school districts, schools in. Because you can always bring more activities, but we just don't have space, right? So,
So yeah, we have a shared partnership with school district. We use their fields and courts all year long.
all year long.
Yep.
all
It's not to me though, it's more like, get more recreation, you get.
Yeah,
Sporting event.
That's why I was asking, you're saying bring in outside athletic, organizations to participate here.
What I really wanted was to see something that can be used year round
Yeah.
and not just. when we're-
I see what she's saying because I don't joke, it's a fact. The only reason I leave Covington is to go to turf field. Seriously, I'm not even kind of kidding. It used to be soccer, now it's baseball in Ravensdale. It used to be Petro. I can drive that road blind. So I get what she's saying. So
Yeah.
when we're talking about destination community,
Yeah.
So is it a?
it's the
year-
reason I
yeah.
leave
So
Year-round
year round, they're
utilization
playing
of
soccer
your-
outside.
year
on the
round,
turf?
even in baseball.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
shocking
just
to
soccer.
me.
Okay.
Utilize-
Funding stuff,
Utilization.
because right now it really is utilized, April through.
Or
End of
we can
August.
just get that aquatic center that's just a couple million.
That's way
dollars more
cheaper.
that has the turf inside. that has the-
Would it be parks or sports facilities, parks and sports facilities?
It's not a park, it's more of a
I would just say
sports-
CCP.
Okay,
That's what we're looking for,
Okay.
specifically.
Well, maybe
turf.
not.
Right.
I think CCP is probably.
The one that makes
logical
most
choice,
sense.
but-
I don't know that we have any, do we?
well, yeah, because otherwise you would be doing something.
We'd have to
Yeah,
buy
like-
new property and, yeah, so.
Or get some town center.
Ooh,
I
or
just,
turf.
I think we limit our thinking if we only say one specific.
Oh, well,
But-
yeah.
I mean.
I
obviously,
thought the
there's other
action
locations.
item was evaluate turf at the CCP field. But I think what you're saying, Beth, is try to find a new park space in town to put turf.
Or what? It could be the schools, it could be like looking at other options and maybe
Well-
CCP makes no sense, I mean, there's another spot, but. I guess I'm thinking really broad with range and then of course. Likely to follow CCP, but I like to see action items that focus on.
So I think because we are in the nitty gritty, so one of them would be CCP. And then you're saying explore additional options for turf fields.
Not limited to CCP.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Including but not limited to.
I would add that.
I mean, I think the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
And if that means that pool, something like that would- see, it could be
Okay,
whatever.
Yeah.
yeah.
If someone really offloads something.
Like, okay, yeah, Wilson is, whose is it?
Yeah,
It's not a
it's-
school, well, I know, but like, it's not a school, it's not, you know,
It's
it's
owned
not
by the city.
tied to anything.
Oh, it's tied to the city of.
Yeah, city can.
I know,
Yes,
well,
but it's not
tied.
tied to an entity outside, like, it's not part of the school, it's not, you know, there's not private.
You just have to pay for it though.
So we probably have about another minute left
Okay.
before we need to clean this up. Any other last thoughts on this? Item?
I had attracting new restaurants, non-fast food,
Outdoors.
non-chain,
Outdoor seating?
like a real signature eating establishment that people want to come into Covington for.
Yeah.
And then just like the Stone Cold thing or the Hertz, I mean, they're gonna come and shop while they're here.
Yeah.
But not, I mean, but to get people here and also for our residents. For some things right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go out of Covington. to break this.
Or if it's one fine, maybe slightly more fine too.
Morton's.
We need a slightly more fun
Yeah.
restaurant.
I'm not gonna say.
Fill that out.
Business opportunity. So our next opportunity available to do this is November 22nd. So it's quite a ways out unless we do a different date. The goal was to be done with this by the end of the year. And at this rate, that's not going to happen.
Sorry, we got.
So if we're okay, pushing, because it was it's a strategic plan starting in 2023, but it might be more like spring of 2023 if council's okay with that.
Yes.
Because we've
And
got,
please document it so we don't hold it against you later.
oh, it's recorded. Yeah, and that got Beth going. So we've got joint meetings, the next 3 meetings, and so November 22nd. So you can't be gone for Thanksgiving. You gotta be here. All right, thanks, man.
All right, thank you all very much. This
Thank you
special
for
meeting is
hurting us.
adjourned.